Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
It's funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
What would you like to work on today, or are there any parts that you already know that you'd like to work with or change your relationship with? Get to know better.
I don't know where to start today.
Okay. Well, it could be anything that's up for you. It doesn't have to be in parts language. It could just be anything that's going on and however you want to share it.
I think right now I've been kind of in the deep wormhole of marriage issues. And although we're working on them and seeking out therapy, I find that I'm not bouncing back this time like I used to. My legs feel heavy. I feel tired. I can kind of easily cry at any moment without thinking about anything. And so I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of this place that I feel very stuck in, even though I see hope. It's like my brain sees hope, but my body is not following my lead right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we could focus on that and see what we can learn about it. So yeah, I would call that a part, the part of you that maybe is making the legs feel heavy and tired. It isn't bouncing back. And just try to focus on that and get to know it. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just see if you can locate that in or around your body and really tune into the sensations that come up around that. And what are you noticing?
In terms of sensations, I feel like I feel my neck a lot. It feels extraordinarily tight. I don't know if that's because I'm always trying to hold back tears or what, but my fingers and toes are freezing and my neck is kind of just talking to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And when it shows up like that, and as you notice it there, how do you feel towards it? This tightness in the neck.
It's very uncomfortable, rigid almost.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And given that it's causing you such discomfort, yeah, how do you feel towards the part that's causing that?
It just kind of feels like it's holding a big weight over my body, like a heavy jacket that I'm not able to like take off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what it feels like it's doing kind of to you. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And when it does that to you, how do you feel towards it?
Irritated, frustrated.
Okay. Makes sense. It's causing you such discomfort. So see if you can turn towards that frustrated part and ask it for just a little bit of space and to step back or to soften back so that you can get to know this tightness in the neck, this discomfort, just for a little while and see how it reacts when you ask the frustrated part to soften back. Will it allow you some space to get to know this tightness in the neck?
Yeah, I feel a little more space.
Great. And it can always come back in if it needs to. If it feels like you're getting overwhelmed or it's too much, then it can come back in. But just if it can give a little space to let us try to understand this tightness. So now how are you feeling towards that tightness in the neck? Do you have curiosity about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. See if you can kind of turn towards it or ask it to turn towards you. Deepen your access to it. And ask it what it wants you to know. And just wait for the answer.
Just very big, overwhelming feelings of sadness.
Mm-hmm. And is that coming from the tightness in the neck? Does it feel like it's the sad part, or does it feel like it's kind of trying to keep a sad part away?
Probably more the latter.
Mm-hmm. Great. So yeah, you can just communicate that you see that. Communicate that to the tightness in the neck part, that you see what it's dealing with, and that you understand, or that you're able to witness it. How does it react to that?
Interesting, because I kind of feel it moving back into my shoulders, like behind me, as the tears floodgate through.
Are you okay with all this?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, just let it know that you're okay feeling what it's showing you, or what it's allowing you to see. And if you're still talking to it, this part that's in the neck or that's moving to the shoulders, you could ask what it's afraid of, what its concern will happen if it allows that sadness, or if it doesn't constrict.
I'm feeling it's interesting because my back's getting like really tight, but I feel like it's more about just kind of going through the never-ending cycle, the wormhole, the hamster on the wheel. Like, I feel like it might be protecting me from like that worry that nothing's going to change. It's going to keep occurring.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just check that with it. If that's what it's protecting you from. If there's anything else it has a concern about.
Maybe that I don't trust it.
Mm-hmm. You could also ask how its level of trust in you is, if that feels like valuable information. Are you still with it?
Yeah, I feel not any words coming up. My back's very tight. It almost feels like it's moving down.
Okay. And just whatever it's trying to show you in whatever way it does, just let it know that you see it and you're hearing it loud and clear. And if at any point it does feel like it's really overwhelming too much, you can always just ask it to turn it down a little bit. And then it's easier for you to understand it if it shows up in certain ways, or not too much. You were saying that it feels like it's protecting you from the sadness of nothing is going to change.
Mhm.
And I guess you could ask, like, what would be so bad about that? Like, what's the fear behind that? What happens if nothing changes? Why is that? Why is that a cause for sadness? You don't have to share any details with me. Just see if you can understand from that part's perspective.
Almost feels like I kind of lost that sadness, but like my back is so tense, like the shell is like the shell would get stronger or the contraction would get stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you could go to that sadness, and this is something that you would ask this shell constricting part. Ask it if you could go to the sadness and if you could heal that part or change that so that that feeling didn't come up or didn't overwhelm you. What would this constricting part rather be doing inside of you with its energy?
That was a great question because I just felt tingly all over and this kind of level of freedom in my shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah, let it keep showing you that and just seeing how it would like to be if you could heal or change that part that's so sad. I'll admit that I think I might have skipped a little step of just showing this part appreciation for its intention in keeping you safe. So that's the goal, is trying to get to a place of appreciation and also of just kind of liberation, of just imagining with this part what else it could be doing with its energy.
You feel this kind of level of embodiment of feeling my limbs, feeling my toes. It feels like freedom. It feels lifting.
It's great. It's a powerful part. You could try asking it how old it thinks you are and just waiting for an answer.
My real age is showing up.
Okay, great. Well, that means that it's seeing you for who you are, and that's great. A lot of times these parts are kind of stuck in the past. So this is completely optional, and it's up to you and up to this part of how you would feel about going to that sad part, and kind of going through a similar process of just trying to understand what's going on for it, and understand how you can help it out. Just see if the part would be okay with that, and see if you would be okay with that. We can do that now if you want.
My whole back body got tight again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just listen to it and just try to understand. Again, we won't push past any part's concerns. So if this part has a concern and this is how it's showing up, we want to respect that. But we also want to just try to get the lead, figure out what is it concerned about, letting, if it were to allow you to go work with that sadness, that sad part.
Intellectual mind is saying, that's fine. I'm not feeling anything but tightness in my back and my shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could just keep asking. You could see if there's any other parts that have concerns about you doing that work, about going to the sad part.
Why I just feel so constricted again by just even asking that.
Yeah. Well, that's this part's job, right? This part's job was to keep that feeling away. So it's doing what it does. And if you can just stay curious and stay just trying to understand what its concerns are. If it sees you at your real age and it sees that you can do parts work, you can learn from it. You can be creative and be compassionate with it. Just if you can figure out what it's concerned about.
It's just so incredible because my whole back and my neck and my shoulders are I guess not wanting to go there. It just feels so tight and constricted again.
Yeah. It's okay. So yeah, just let them know that you see them and that you appreciate their intention. There's something that they want to keep you from, and maybe they haven't made it clear to you, and it's okay. We're not going to push past it. I know the most common concern is that you'll be overwhelmed. I mean, there's a lot of different concerns that parts have, but that's the most common one that comes up that I've noticed is if you go to the sad part, that it'll be too much and you'll be taken out by it. So all that's normal, and we could address that if that's what's going on. Otherwise, I would just stay with this part, ask it what it wants from you in the future, what it needs from you.
My whole back just curled up in a really tight ball, but it's releasing now.
It's really saying, you said it curled up in a tight ball and it's saying no?
No, it just released. I wasn't able to talk.
Oh.
So, I don't know why my nervous system has been doing this lately. It's been kind of acting on its own little involuntary path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know the way that we've worked together before has been you have a way of communicating that's with them that's very somatic, very not verbal. So I apologize if my questions are kind of too questiony. You can just trust your intuition and go with listening and asking in whatever way works for you and your parts.
My back released a bit and I'm feeling teary again, but I'm not having many words.
Yeah, and you okay with just staying with that?
Yeah.
Great. Take your time.
Just letting my body know that I appreciate it and having a really slight wave of dizziness. But I feel like I'm catching my breath again.
Mm-hmm. So when it releases, then the teariness comes up. Is that right? Yeah. And so maybe that is kind of like what I was hinting at, is that kind of, if it's not doing its job, that those tears could be overwhelming. And one way to, if that's what's going on, one way to address that is just to let that sadness, let that sad part know that for you to help it, it needs to give you a little space and give you a little, it can't take over and overwhelm you. And that goes for all the parts. You have to kind of unblend from them.
I feel like this pattern in my neck and back is like a new place that I haven't necessarily felt before right now today. And I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on how I can work with this in the next few days, or
Yeah. I kind of think of it like a trail, and there's a trailhead. So in the next few days, you can kind of get back to this place or evoke that feeling, just by kind of going through whatever brought it on today. It's the same kind of thoughts or places in your mind or in your body. And then when it comes up, just, the goal is to just stay curious, because it's there for a reason. The more you can understand why it shows up and what it's trying to protect you from and what it's worried about, the more you can help it. So, you can do all that in a matter of a couple minutes. And sometimes just showing up for it every day, that's kind of the key. Because if we only do it when things get really bad or once a year, then the parts don't trust us. But if and they stay cryptic and they stay fighting to get in line and talk over each other. But if you do it every day, then that might help the part see that you're not going to push past it. You are there to listen. You are okay with what it's showing you.
Just having a really intense trembling right now, so I can't talk.
Mm-hmm. Does that process of checking in with it every day, does that sound doable or reasonable, or would that work for you and work for this part?
Yeah, I think that's what I need to focus
on. Mm-hmm.
My body seems to speak more loudly than my words lately, and I'm just trying to figure out what it's all about.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's huge. Can't skip that step. I wonder if you can learn from this part how long it's been doing this job.
The only thing that's coming to me is forever.
Yeah, it might feel like it's been doing it forever, and it might be. And I think that that's really valuable information to have. And it might help to think about your path forward. If this part's been doing its job forever, then it's going to take time. It's going to take time to understand it and to help it relax and to find a new role for it. But you're doing it. You're doing it just, I don't know how this feels for you, but to me, this is successful getting to know your parts.
Well, there's something about this that I'm definitely responding to from a somatic level that I'm assuming I'm just ready for it, but
yeah, you're handling it and communicating with them. Last time you suggested that we sit and just quietly for a few minutes. Do you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do 3 minutes again.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. How's it all feeling in there?
Good. I still have some pretty trembly arms, but
Mhm. I'm curious if you were to check in with that part that was frustrated about these various just constrictions or uncomfortable feelings. If it's able to see the work that you're doing and how it feels about that. Doesn't have much to say.
No, I don't feel a lot of anything coming back at me.
Yeah. I think that's a good sign. It's out of the way. Maybe that's a good sign for your work in the future of just being able to approach this with not frustration, but with, I don't know, the joy, the curiosity, the just openness.
Now that my arm is stopped, I am feeling a real deep sense of grounding, of releasing.
Is there anything else you want to communicate with the parts while you have their attention?
Just sending thank yous.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Thank you. It's really powerful. And even if you can't put any of it in words, it's clear that something's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my suggestion, is to check back with these parts in a similar way. Again, it doesn't have to take you an hour. It can take as long as it takes, or you could be a minute here and there throughout the day. And of course, feel free to get back on the calendar with me. I'd love to see how it all progresses. Yeah, thank you. Anything else?
No, that was lovely.
I think so too. Okay. I hope to hear from you again.
Okay.
And it's nice talking with you.
You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.